Evening everyone, so this is the end of day 21, so the final day of my third week. I'm actually currently sat at Zurich airport waiting for my flight home, and it's been quite tough these last couple of evenings. So I've been going out with work colleagues, and there's a lot of peer pressure to eat when you're going out for a team meal or a group meal. I really struggled, especially avoiding going out for a couple of drinks in the evening as well, but I managed to get away with just Coke Zero while I was here. With regards to the shakes, I brought some powder with me, as you know, and I had an empty bottle, and I just bought some water from a supermarket and made the shakes myself, so no drama with that. While I'm sat here waiting for my flight, I'm just going to answer a few questions that people have asked. So first off, how are my hunger pains? They're not bad. They're not as bad as they are. It's now gone from a moderate tummy pain to just a background ache. But if I have the fibre powder and I have my shakes, and I'm still trying to do 2 and 2, so around 11 o'clock in the morning and just in the evening, I'm finding that works well. But you've got to keep drinking water. So the pains are relatively gone, and with regards to headaches, non-existent. I still get tired in the evenings, particularly if I've had a long day. So when I drove down here and then had to go and do some walking into the hotel, check my bag in and stuff like that the following morning, that took it all out of me. And obviously when you're in a plane, you're dehydrated, it's hot, it's uncomfortable, it's cramped when you're the size I am. That took it out of me, but nothing that a decent night's sleep couldn't take care of. Oh, what else? Fibre. You must not stop taking the fibre until your usual toilet habits have resumed, and that might not be for the full 12 weeks. I, like an idiot, stopped taking them for a couple of days, and I paid the price, and it's taken a long time for the fibre to kick back in. So don't stop taking it. It doesn't taste very nice, but take it first thing in the morning, and then take it before your final shake, so like perhaps 15-20 minutes before your final shake, and that will make sure there's something in your stomach for the shake to bind to, and apparently that really helps. Next thing, paracetamol and sort of medication in general. The advice I received was your health comes first. If you need to take paracetamol, perhaps speak to a pharmacist beforehand, just to be sure. If you need to take it, at least have some fibre, so you got something in your stomach to line it before you have some paracetamol. But shouldn't be an issue. But things like any throat sweets or sugary medicines or anything like that, you really shouldn't have it. I asked about my constipation and what would happen if I couldn't get it sorted with the fibre, and I said go and speak to a pharmacist and explain that you are on a calorie restrictive diet, you're on the soup and shake diet. Is there something that I can be provided that is sugar free that will obviously sort me out? But fortunately for me that wasn't required, but that was the recommendation I was given. Next, the regular calls I have with my coach. So through the scheme I'm on through Xyla Health, I'm having a phone call once a week for the first 12 weeks, and that will gradually reduce as I get through the scheme. So the first 12 weeks they will cover everything, like firstly your health, how you're finding the week so far, any good things, any bad things. But we're starting to talk now during my sessions about goals for the future, habits, if there's any things that I want to change, so lifestyle changes. And I believe in my call next week we're going to start talking about activities, like increasing my physical activity to basically help me burn calories naturally. Weight loss. So as it stands, I am down 16 kilos, I think it was, when I weighed myself last week. So that's 16 kilos in 3 weeks, which obviously I'm chuffed to bits with. The first week was 10, and then it was 4 the second week, and I think it's been 2 or 3 this week, and that's obviously to be expected. The first week is mainly fluid loss, and then following that is basically you're starting to convert from burning glucose for energy to burning fat, so that way you'll burn more energy, you burn more fat and lose more weight as you go, but it will take a lot longer. So as the benefit of the diet slowly wanes, you will need to up your activity levels to compensate for that. And obviously you're losing weight, you're feeling better, so your activity levels should be able to increase if time permits. And I'm challenging myself next week, so for week 4, every day for the next 7 days, so starting tomorrow, Friday, I am going to walk 10,000 steps. I've got no idea how that's going to work in practice, because some days I might be working from home, so I'll be able to take the dog out for a walk for a time, and then the rest of it might be going for a walk by myself, or even doing steps on the spot, or doing some activity. So I do Beat Saber on the Oculus Quest, and yes, that's moving my arms about, and I imagine that might count for a few steps as well, but that'll be the plan. Blood sugar, so I can't remember the exact score that it was to begin with, or the exact stats rather. I think it was 10.6 or 10.1 when I took it on day 1. So when I took it at the beginning of the week, so would have been day 15, or week 3, day 15, it was down to 5.1, and that is considered high, but in the normal range of high, so the non-diabetic range. So obviously I'm really happy at that, but remember, when you do a finger prick test, it's just a snapshot of your blood glucose at that particular instance in time. I'm more interested in my HbA1c, which I'm going to request is taken on the last day of my 12 weeks, or the first day of week 13, so the first day I'm allowed to start eating normal food. So it'll be interesting to see how far that's dropped. Metformin, so when I finish the 12 weeks, I will have another appointment with the doctor who will look at my bloods and will let me know if I'm to go on metformin or not. Now, from what I understand, the goal of this project is to permanently get me off metformin, and I would obviously really like that. I'd like to be a non-medication dependent diabetic, and then hopefully over the course of the next 6-12 months eventually go into diabetic remission. I can't build myself up to think that I'll be diabetic remission just because of a 12-week diet. Well, it doesn't work like that. I know it's a longer term process, and I know I need to have repeat blood tests over the course of the next year or so to eventually get that prognosis. But fingers crossed, I am well on the way to my remission, and as I said, that's my aim. Target weight loss. So as I said, when I started this, I was 160.4, and I have a goal of getting it down below 130 within the 12 weeks of my diet, because on week 13, at the end of the week, I'm going on holiday, and there's a couple of things I want to do. There's a couple of rides that are in Las Vegas where I'm going, which are very weight restrictive. And what I'd like to try and do is, for the first time in perhaps 20 years, be slim enough to go on some of these roller coasters. I'm 42, I can't really leave it until I'm my late 40s or early 50s, because I don't think physically my body would be able to handle it. But if I can lose the weight, that is certainly what I'm aiming for. Obviously, if I can get even lower than that, brilliant. So how am I going to cope with the food while I'm away in Las Vegas? I really don't know. When I did a course through Derby County Council at the end of last year, one of the things that was recommended, because other people brought this up, sort of talking about summer holidays and Christmas in particular, is how will they cope with indulging, and obviously a lot of it is self-control. But suggestions like, if you're going to have a meal, rather than having 3 courses, just have a main and a pudding, or a starter and a main. Just try and skip a dessert. Obviously on your plate, stick to the meats and the vegetables and stay away from the carby stuff. if you know you're going to be in a situation where you're going to be consuming a lot of calories, there are things you can do to reduce it. So exercise helps, not drinking too much alcohol. Stop rather than pouring calories down your throat. Make healthier choices that way. So how am I going to cope? Realistically, I don't know. One of my main personal issues is I am addicted to food. I like eating food, and once I start eating food, I struggle to maintain portion control. So I think perhaps staying away from any buffets and maybe going for like plated options might be better for me. And obviously if I can get away with walking or being active, maybe even going to the gym or like walking rather than taking taxis or Ubers everywhere, might be able to offset some of those calories. I'm not going to allow it to ruin my holiday, but I'm also not going to allow it to ruin the health benefits that I would have gained from the previous 12 weeks. So I think that's a balancing act, and it's going to be difficult, but even if I just cut out the beers, even if rather than having beers I have something like a JD and Coke or something like that, you never know, that might be a reduction in calories, and that perhaps is something I need to look at if there's healthier alternatives. I mean, I can't remember where I read it, but when you think about alcohol, it's liquid fat, the way it reacts in your body. So if there's any way that you can reduce the calorific intake of what you're drinking, then obviously less calories, less weight gain. So that's the plan. Shakes. How am I enjoying the shakes? They're okay. I mean, it's getting boring. I'm having to substitute in chewing gum during the day just to give myself a bit of a change of flavour. I haven't tried adding any like mint or anything like that. I mean, I can drink coffee and I can use some of those sugar-free syrups, but I'm not really a hot drink person. I bought myself a 2-litre bottle of Pepsi Max on Saturday or Friday, and I've not really drank it. I've tried to avoid any additional things. I just want to try and keep it simple and then see how I go from there. But I haven't really had the need to have fizzy drinks in my tummy to bloat me up, so I think I'm doing okay with that so far. I've had an email through from Xyla Health telling me to order my second set of shakes, so I've ordered 2 more chocolate, a strawberry and a mango. So they've apparently turned up while I've been here in Switzerland. So I've still got probably at least another couple of weeks worth in the pouches that I've got, so perhaps I haven't been going for the full portion. It's been enough for me. I've not felt the need to have any more, and so clearly I'm doing something right. The weight's going off, my blood sugar's going down, and I feel measurably healthier. During my my walk around the sites and my team meetings that I've had, someone's made comment that my face looks a little bit slimmer. Don't be disheartened if people don't say anything to you. It's quite difficult for work colleagues and people who don't know that you're doing a diet to comment on somebody's weight. I know perhaps it was something that could have been said many years ago, but people don't like commenting on people's weight, and neither should they. It's their own personal situation. But I happened to tell this person that I was doing this soup and shake diet, and they said, well, yeah, we can tell that you're losing weight and your face looks slimmer. And yeah, I was really pleased with that. I admit I had been a little bit disheartened in myself, saying I'm putting all this effort in and nobody's noticed, but I haven't really told many people, and I guess people are too polite to say when people's body shape changes. And yeah, I just found it was a good thing to hear. And I recommend if anyone is doing this diet, they tell as many people within your close circle as possible, just to provide support. For my family, they've been asking how I'm doing, and I find it quite supportive, but I've told them I'm not going to weigh myself as frequently. I don't want to be a slave to the scales, and I don't want to weigh myself and find that for whatever reason my weight has either not gone down or it's gone up slightly, because I know that will be quite upsetting. So I'm going back to just weighing myself once on a Friday at the beginning of my week, and then I have a call on a Monday, and it's a requirement that I take my blood sugar and my weight that day as well. So just 2 days a week, which I think is an ideal snapshot, and I've been told to expect my weight to start bouncing around slowly as the weight loss plateaus and I have to burn more calories through exercise rather than water loss, and I'm prepared for that, so that's all good. I think I'm going to end it there for my week 3 update. I'd like to thank you all so very, very much from the bottom of my heart for watching, and the comments that I'm seeing and the people who are reaching out to me directly. It's really appreciated.
Julian Hoog wird gebeten, sich beim Bodenpersonal zu melden. Julian Hoog, bitte.
Let's have it again.
Eine Sicherheitsanweisung der Polizei: Lassen Sie Ihr Gepäck nie unbeaufsichtigt. Bemerken Sie verdächtige Aktivitäten oder unbeaufsichtigte Gegenstände, melden Sie dies bitte umgehend dem Flughafenpersonal oder der Polizei.
A security warning from the police. Never leave your baggage unattended. If you see any suspicious activities or unattended items, report them immediately to the airport staff or the police.
Une consigne de sûreté de la police: ne laissez jamais vos bagages sans surveillance. Si vous êtes témoin d'activités suspectes ou remarquez des objets abandonnés, veuillez le signaler immédiatement au personnel de l'aéroport ou à la police.
Are we done? I'm going to end it there for this weekly update. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to watch these videos, and I appreciate all the comments and people reaching out to me directly with words of support and encouragement. It really, really means a lot to me, and I couldn't do this without all of your love and kind words and encouragement, so thank you so much. If you're finding these videos enjoyable, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on my next weekly update.